What is going on, everyone? My name is Joseph Reynolds, and today joining me is one of the reels you'll find in MMA, Mr. Dominic Wooden, ahead of his bout against Franz Malambo on PFL Europe 2. How are you feeling for that fight, buddy?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling ready. 3 weeks left till fight night. So yeah, I'm feeling good and ready.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'd have maybe wanted to have been in the cage sooner than July this year, but in terms of having this date and knowing that it's getting closer and closer, how has this long sort of time to prepare for this fight been?
Well, how's it been preparing for this fight, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. To be honest, I thought I was going to fight earlier in the year. I thought I was going to fight on that Newcastle card, but that wasn't the case. So July 8th it was. Yeah, preparation for this fight's been really good. Spent the first half of my camp over here, and after I spent 5 weeks in Vegas training at Extreme Couture and the UFC PI. There were a lot of high-level guys, and then literally just got back last Saturday, so just to finish off the remainder of camp. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. Preparation is going well, and preparation I had in Vegas was really good training with high-level guys.
Yeah, and as well, in terms of looking at this fight, obviously, it's a big rematch. You've both gone on to do great things since the first time that you've fought. Do you feel as though, in terms of PFL Europe, this is one of the biggest fights you could sort of make at the moment in the promotion? And how do you sort of see this fight with it coming up?
Yes. It's a big fight within this European season bantamweight division for sure. Like the finals in Dublin. It would have been good if PFL tried to narrow it down to me and him getting into the final. And funny enough, the final takes place in the Free Arena, and that's where we fought last. When I fought Franz. But I just had a very strong feeling. I've just had a very strong feeling that I was going to fight him as my first fight, to be honest. But that's cool. That's cool. That's not a problem by me. I'm actually happy to get this one back.
Yeah, and to sort of have this rematch, obviously, the first time it didn't go your way, but since going on from that fight as well, in terms of looking at it now, how do you sort of see this fight playing out the second time?
Different. Like the dynamics of this fight, different, very different. Like obviously, I'm not making an excuse or anything, but obviously, like that time we fought, obviously it was his night, but obviously there was a lot of things happening behind closed doors. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it. He won fair and square, and that's it. But obviously now the dynamics of this fight is a lot different now. Like I've got a solid team around me, just doing things a lot better, and I've got a very clear headspace going into this fight. So it's going to be a much different performance from me compared to the first one. Considering considering the circumstances I had going into that first fight with him, to be fair to myself, it was an okay performance. It was an okay performance. Funny enough, some people thought I won that fight. Some people thought he won. But obviously it was in his hometown, so obviously it's going to favour towards the hometown fighter. But it was his night that night, and fair play to him for that first fight. But this time round, it's different.
Yeah, and then obviously, in terms of your career, you've competed at the highest level for a long time, for pretty much as long as I can remember. But in terms of being able to do that throughout your career and sort of be a part of the last generation almost, and then this one as well, and a big part of it at that, do you feel as though the opportunities that you've had and the successes you've had have helped sort of keep paving the way for UK MMA? Obviously, the last few years, the growth, it's been massive. And do you feel as though that some of the success you've had sort of helps keep getting these English fighters into these opportunities that you've also had in your career?
Yeah, for sure. Like, listen, though, like I'm still young. You know what I mean? I'm only 26. So, like you said, yeah, I've been in this game for a long time, but I'm still young. Obviously, I turned pro when I was 18. You're seeing amateurs turn pro when they're like early 20s, mid 20s. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like in terms of paving the way for the young up and comers behind me, yeah, for sure. Like, obviously, I'm showing them how it's done throughout my career, whether it's through wins, learning lessons, losses, and just my trials and tribulations that I've been through within my career. Yeah, like I said, like I'm still young. I've got a lot of time left, a lot of miles left in the tank. and I'm still young, 26. I've got a solid, I don't know, solid 10, 11 years left, 10 years. So I'm here to stay, and I'm still going strong.
100%. And to still only be 26, but have all these different sort of experiences behind you that have been able to sort of help push you on in your career. How helpful do you think those have been throughout your career to get those experiences in ages that it's not really as common now, as you said, with people turning pro much older now in the mid-20s, early 20s sort of age?
Honestly, my opinion, I think, like, for example, like the way how fighters are turning pro a little bit late, I think that's quite good, because obviously they're getting as much experiences as they can, obviously being amateurs, and obviously they got the world tournaments like IMAF and stuff like that. So obviously it's a good incentive to still stay as an amateur before going pro. Whereas like back in my time, I don't want to say back in my time because I'm not old. But obviously back when I turned pro, that's when like the IMAF was just about to start. So I literally turned pro just before the IMAF started. So yeah, as of right now for the amateurs coming up, yeah, so it's a good look for them to obviously get as much experience as possible before turning over.
Yeah, and then even sort of taking a look at the training you do here, obviously Great Britain top team, to sort of see when you have these younger fighters coming in and then the guys that have been here for so long, how is that sort of like to have all these different fighters you can train with that are going to push you and help you improve, and to have them all in one place as well?
Yeah, it's good. It's good for sure. Like obviously you got some of the vets. Obviously you got the high level fighters in the gym, and obviously you got the amateur fighters coming up, waiting to turn pro soon. And it's good to obviously be around that type of mixture. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously the amateurs can get from the pros. Funny, and also as well, like the pros can get from the amateurs within any discipline within the sport. Because obviously, just because we're pros, it don't mean that it don't mean we know it all, kind of thing, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's a good mix, and the team over here, GB is going really strong this year. So I'm looking to continue that. Come find out.
Yeah, and then in this tournament as well, obviously, you've got the 100,000 at the end of it, but without, obviously won't be overlooking this tournament in any sense, but is $1 million tournament something that you're thinking about already, or what is the sort of goal with PFL, and how do you sort of envision your journey being with them?
Well, PFL is the true definition of prize fighting. Obviously, it's prize fighting. We're MMA fighters. It's the fight business. We obviously fight for money. Obviously, European season, 100K on the line. That's a great incentive. And then obviously next year, $1 million on the line. That's another great incentive, even bigger. So obviously, I'm looking to get through this European season, and then obviously when PFL go global with the bantamweight division for next year, the $1 million season, I'll be looking to get that grand prize as well, for sure, and solidify myself as one of the best bantamweights in the world.
Yeah, and as well, in terms of the format that PFL do bring, do you feel as though that suits you more to the T than maybe before, where you're not too sure on the dates you could get, it's all up in the air, but with the PFL, it seems you know when you're going to fight, it doesn't matter who the opponent is as such, there's always going to be someone there to fight come the night that you're given.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's another thing that I like about PFL. Like the thing is with me, like when I started off, when I turned over to pro from amateur, my activity wasn't as much as, like, let's say, like my 2021. Like in 2021, I had three fights back to back, and that's good for me. That's good for me. The more active I am, the better I perform. Whereas taking long layoffs is kind of detrimental, and obviously it can take its toll. But yeah, like I like the way how PFL are doing it. Like, you know your dates you're fighting, and you know who you will be fighting. So things is not up in the air. So that's really good, and that's what I want to be part of.
Yeah, and then in terms of as well, sort of taking a look at the career, there's been times where there's been losses and you've shown that you can bounce back as well. But to know that you can have those little moments of adversity and overcome them as well, and come out on the other side a lot better, does that sort of fill you with sort of even more confidence when you go into these fights coming off of a loss? Or how do you sort of take the mentality when you are coming off of a defeat?
Yeah, for sure. Like, listen, like, I'm no stranger to defeat. Do you know what I mean? I know how to bounce back. I've done it numerous times. So being in this position is nothing new to me. Obviously, I was with Cage Rose previously. I've done what I set out to do over there. Now this is a new chapter at PFL, and obviously, my aim is to obviously get that 100K grand prize and obviously get that title as well. And like I said, I'm no stranger to this position. And you look at my track record, I fought all tough fights. Do you know what I mean? No easy fights around here. And obviously, PFL bantamweight division, in my opinion, the PFL bantamweight division European for the European season is the hardest division out of all the other divisions, in my opinion. And I'm sure a lot of people can vouch for that. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, I'm no stranger to this position, and I'm looking to forge through this European season.
Yeah, and as well, obviously, with the PFL season in Europe, it's the first one as well. So a chance to go out there and make history, and I'm sure it'll be history that will be remembered as well. So to be able to already be in these positions where you can make history as well, and having made it in the past, what is that sort of like as a fact to see that you're already doing those things and still knowing that there's a lot more success to come for you in the future?
Say that again, sorry?
Yeah, so in terms of being able to sort of make history, is the potential to be the first guy to win the PFL Europe season, and then seeing the amount of history that you can make in the future as well, still being young, what does that sort of like to look at as a fighter to do already?
Yes, it's obviously a good look. Obviously, getting through this European season, and obviously winning it, it's obviously a good look. It just solidifies me as one of the top European bantamweights. I already am. Do you know what I mean? The last couple of years, I've shown that I am. Obviously, being Cage Roy's champion. So yeah, it's a good look. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just looking forward to forging through this season and then getting into the $1 million season next year with PFL going global with the bantamweights.
Yeah, and then just a final thing for myself is in terms of what people can expect to see in this fight, what does that look like a little bit?
A dominant performance. That's it.
There you go. Well, that is everything from myself. If you'd like to take a chance at sponsors, things like that, obviously just feel free to go ahead.
No, I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it there.
No problem. I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Nice one. Thank you.